All righty, and good evening, everybody. We're going to go ahead and hit record. That way, we have this presentation. It'll be posted on our YouTube page for anybody that could not sign on tonight. My name is Matt Miranda. I am a 4-H agent here in Guadalupe County, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the 4-H scholarships that are available both at the state level and here at the Guadalupe County level. Now, if you sign on during this presentation, please mute your microphone. That way we can get the best recording as possible. And then type your questions into the question box, and I'll get to them at the end of the presentation. Otherwise, we'll answer them live after I stop the recording for this presentation. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Just a couple of things. When we're talking about scholarships, we're not just talking about the 4-H scholarships. I want to try to get y'all ready to apply for as many scholarships as possible. College is expensive, so the more scholarship money that you have, the less loans you have to take out, the better off you're going to be. So some things that you need to have to prepare you for applying for your scholarships are the scholarship application and the instructions. If the scholarship you're applying for doesn't have instructions, contact the organization that you're applying through and ask them if there are any instructions. It's important to read the instructions for your scholarships all the way through. Make sure that you've checkmarked every box that you're supposed to checkmark. Make sure that you're as organized and as succinct as possible. Make sure you follow the guidelines. If it says don't copy and paste from another application, don't do that. If it says to just make sure that you follow what the application says. We don't want you to get disqualified just because you misread something. All your 4-H record books. This is the reason why we do record books. They're important for this application, especially the state 4-H one. And we'll get to that in a second. You'll need a copy of your test scores, so that is, or your scholastic records for all of or for all of your school that you've done, a transcript, unofficial transcript, and then official transcripts for certain scholarships. A lot of scholarships this year, due to COVID-19, are waiving the SAT, ACT scores. So at least the state 4-H one is, and all of our county scholarships are doing that as well. So just be sure that make sure that if they require it, you have it. If they don't require it, that's okay. Your financial records. You're going to need your family's financial records to apply for your FAFSA. And we'll talk about that in a second. The other thing is, don't wait till the last minute. We basically have 2.5 months until all of the scholarships are due for the state 4-H program, but less than that for some of the local scholarships. So be sure that you don't wait till the last minute. Ask for help, rewrite, ask often. The more prepared you can be when you start the process, the better off you're going to be. A couple of things on completing applications. Your high school counselors need time to make sure your transcripts are correct, especially with everything going on right now. So ask early and often, especially in the time of COVID. We don't know what the future is going to bring when it comes to schools shutting down and whatnot, or schools being not face-to-face. So make sure you ask now for your transcript. Or start asking now and tell them you're going to need one after the first of the year, whenever this next 9 weeks or 6 weeks or however y'all's grading schedule is. Make sure that you have your transcripts, that you can get your transcripts together. There will be a number of narratives or essays that you have to write for these scholarships. So just remember that narratives that have been written once are rarely effective. They must be edited. You're not going to be turning in a scholarship essay for 4-H unless I have a chance to look at it and to help edit it. or suggest edits for you. So be sure to edit, send it to people that you trust to read over and to make sure that everything's where it's supposed to be. Printer problems and computer crashes are a fact of life. Plan ahead. This was never made more apparent than me to a couple of weeks ago when my whole dissertation, I didn't have an electronic copy anymore. I just had an old paper copy, and my dog ate the paper. So have a backup. Email your application to people. The 4-H application, the state 4-H application is all online, but it's a good idea to keep backups just in case. Start early and then edit as much as possible. Some scholarships will require a letter of recommendation. So be sure, if you are going to ask for a letter of recommendation, give your recommender, the person that you ask, enough time to actually do it. Don't ask them on Monday and expect a letter on Tuesday. I've been asked at the last second before, and that's fine. I can get it done, but some people cannot. So be sure that you ask often and ask early. Consider different people to consider to ask. Teachers in classes where you did well. You don't want to ask just anyone for a recommendation letter. Ask people that know you well or that you have done well in their class or their program, whatever it is. So county agents and ag teachers, good ones to ask. Teachers, any employers you might have, your pastor, any religious leader, any coach that you may have, and then friends of the family with credibility. So your next door neighbor, probably not, but if you have a neighbor that's a doctor, lawyer, or a teacher or something like that, they'd be a good person to ask. They have some clout behind their name. So a couple of things to remember when preparing for interviews. One is to dress for success. You're going to want to dress up as nice as possible. We're talking business, professional clothing. A suit, a dress, whatever your choice is, it needs to be nice. Okay, you're not going to wear jeans and a polo. You're not going to wear jeans and like a button-up shirt like this. You will need a tie. You want to dress to impress the judges. Okay, they're making a big investment in you. So they want to make sure that you know that you're taking it seriously when they give you their money. Learn about the organization you're interviewing with, and that's super important. I've been judged for several different scholarships in different organizations that we didn't give them a scholarship. They had good leadership and project work and all that, but we didn't give it to them because they didn't know about the organization that was giving them the money. They didn't know the mission. Most of that can be found in just a couple of minutes on the internet, and they didn't take the time to do that. So be sure to learn about the organization that you are interviewing with. Review any suggested questions. I will send y'all suggested questions if you're chosen for a 4-H scholarship interview. So then we'll work on questions in the spring. But if there are suggested questions, review them, practice them. It's okay to practice. Be aware of current events that are going on. We have one huge current event, of course, that has been going on for and it could be questions on that, or it could be how your community has dealt with it. But just keep in mind that you should have just a quick reference of what major current events are going on. And then practice a lot and record yourself. Everybody has a cell phone. So you can record yourself giving your presentation and then critique yourself. That's important. The more you do that, the better off your presentations are going to be. There's a variety of applications and scholarships that are available. At the end of this slideshow, I'm going to show you all a few things, and I'll show you where to find the scholarships on guadalupe.agrilife.org. Also, check your school counselors for additional scholarship opportunities. I know if you do a quick internet search for Seguin High School scholarships, they have a really good website where they have a bunch of scholarships listed. So start looking for scholarships now. Let's see. First scholarship we're going to talk about tonight and spend the most time on is the Texas 4-H Foundation Scholarship. These scholarships, that process is starting now. And as you see, the deadline is February the 15th. So in December, right now through December, you should be completing your FAFSA online. That's your application for financial aid through the federal government, through student aid. So be sure you fill out your FAFSA now. The application is going to be due to me in January. That way we can go through everything and make sure that it's correct. And we'll talk about what that's going to look like. Applications are due on the Texas 4-H Foundation website. So for this scholarship, you're not going to be printing anything out. Everything is going to be online. It was last year too, before all of this COVID stuff happened. It's done through the 4-H Foundation website. So we'll look at that here in a little bit too. In April of 2021, you will be notified if you received a scholarship interview. Right now, those interviews are scheduled for the 23rd through 25th of April in College Station. They're usually at the State 4-H office. We don't know if that's going to happen yet or not. If not, they'll be online, or you may have to do a video like the kids did this last year. So just be aware, end of April is where they're shooting to actually do the scholarship interviews. If you receive a scholarship, then you need to go to the State 4-H Roundup in College Station, Texas, June 8th through the 11th. Your actual date for your scholarship will be announced later. But that will be at Reed Arena in College Station. Tentatively, we hope that it will happen. We're planning for a face-to-face state roundup. Just with everything going on, we're not sure if that's going to happen, so keep that in mind. A couple of new things for 2021. One very important thing is that SAT and ACT scores will not be a factor in this year's scholarship process. They are usually a large factor that make up about 25 points of the application. That's not going to happen this year. There's no way for them to be able to require it, because some people are not able to get the dates to take the tests. So that is dropped for this year only. The Houston Stock Show also increased their cap on scholarships. Before this, Houston Stock Show said you could get $90,000 worth of scholarships before they would start cutting back on any scholarship that they gave you. Now that cap is at $110,000, and that's really a good thing. Most of us are not going to get $110,000, but if you do, that is the new limit for the Houston Scholarship. And this isn't new for 2021, but I think it bears reminding that if you receive a Terry Scholarship, Terry Foundation Scholarship, a full ride to school, you're not eligible to receive a 4-H Opportunity Scholarship. So if you get a Terry Foundation, you want to apply for both. But if you get a Terry Foundation, part of the reason you get that is because of your 4-H work. So don't feel like your 4-H work did not matter. That's part of the reason why you are at the place you are when you receive a Terry Foundation. So just keep that in mind. Here's a quick look at the scoring system for this year. As you can see, the biggest chunk of our score is right here. That's our projects, our leadership, community service, honors, outside 4-H experience, your personal and career narratives. That's a huge chunk of your score. You also get a score for your GPA, for any financial need you might have, and that's through your financial need narrative and your FAFSA. And we'll talk about what the courageous heart is here in a second. The final part of your score will be your interview. One thing to remember, these are academic scholarships. They're awarded based on your academic record over the last few years through your high school career. So you need good grades. But there are financial needs to some of the scholarships that are offered. There are approximately 200 scholarships that you are applying for through this one application. And those scholarships will range anywhere from $3,000 to as much as $20,000. That does not count the TEA or the Sales School Tour scholarships. As for the Sales to School Tour scholarship, really the biggest deal to be able to apply for that scholarship is to have been a school tour guide in February of 2020 or February 2021. Unfortunately, there will be no school tour guides this year at San Antonio Stock Show. So I don't know what they're going to do with that one yet, but we'll let you know as soon as we find out. There's 3 types of scholarships. The first one is if you're going to a 4-year college to pursue a Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Arts degree. That's going to be the most common. There's also technical certification scholarships. So if you're going to go to TSTC or someplace like that to get some kind of technical degree, there's a scholarship for you. And there's a Courageous Heart Scholarship, which is for kids that have overcome extreme obstacles. It could be medical related, it could be family related, it could be education related, or a combination of all 3. But really what they're looking for is that even though you had such a big thing to overcome, you still stayed active in the 4-H program. And so if you are planning to apply for that scholarship, please let me know. That way we can work on that one together. Couple of general eligibility requirements for the state scholarship. You have to be an active member of 4-H, you have to be a U.S. citizen, and you need to be graduating this coming summer. So May and June 2021. You need to have been applied to a state school. One thing that's important to remember, if you're going to go out of state for college, you cannot get one of the state 4-H scholarships. But you can apply for some of the other scholarships we have. You have to be able to get into the college that you're applying for, and you have to submit the application, and all of that is found on the foundation website. If you do not fill out all sections of that, it will not be accepted. It will not be cleared. Only applications meeting requirements should be submitted. If they don't meet the requirements, then don't worry about applying. The most important thing to do is to work with us. Charla and I review all of these scholarships. She's been doing it a very long time. I've been doing it for 10 years. And we want to help you make your application as competitive as possible. So let us help you with it. And let us help you work with you to edit it. That's the more eyes you have on it, the better off it's going to look. If you're applying for the 4-year scholarship, you need to be in the upper half of your class based on your freshman, junior, and freshman, sophomore, junior, and half of your senior year. The Houston and Walras scholarships require applicants be in the upper quarter of your class. If you're homeschooled, you're automatically upper quarter. And you should have at least a 90 GPA or higher to be competitive. The higher your GPA, the more competitive you're going to be, especially this year. If you are going to apply for the technical degree, you must not have any plans to your 4-year school afterwards. So just keep that in mind. That's not to say that you can't finish your technical degree and then go get a 4-year degree. You can do that, but just for scholarship purposes, you can't start with it and then expect to use it if you decide to go 4-year. Let's see. For Courageous Heart, you need to, the application is all on there, but if you're going to do the Courageous Heart one, there's some additional pages that you have to do. You won't need the minimum SAT, ACT scores on a normal year, and of course not this year either. If you apply for this, you will not be considered for any of the other scholarships. So this is a $5,000 scholarship, and that's what you will be applying for, is $5,000. You need to have documentation of what your obstacles are, and things like sports injuries usually are not what they're looking at. They're looking at major medical illness, family illness, something that really could prevent you from participating in a normal manner. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so like I said, we'll go and look at the application here in a few minutes, but the application is found at texas4hfoundation.org. When you go to that page, you're going to click on the scholarship tab at the top, and then you're going to see the website that has all of the forms and where to apply. If you're homeschooled, you need to provide an official transcript. You're going to be making the official transcript. So if you need help with that, contact me. I was homeschooled my whole youth life. So if you need help with making a transcript, I'm more than happy to help you with that. And you need proof of completing all standardized tests to graduate and enroll in college. Basically, you have to be eligible to be able to get into college to apply for one of these. We talked about this a little bit before, but it's best when you're working on this scholarship application, especially, to get your 4-H record book, to keep a copy of the application guidelines and some examples. There are examples on there. Copies of your official high school transcripts with the school seal or original signature of the counselor. It needs to have the school seal on it. Granted, we're going to be scanning them and putting them in the computer, but we need to see that seal for us to consider it an official transcript. You will need the FAFSA student aid report, and so you'll have to download that off the FAFSA website. And then it's a good idea to have your college catalog pages for your desired major. Maybe not so much for this scholarship, but maybe for some other scholarships. The application must be fully completed to receive consideration. Don't just do several sections and then submit it. It will not be looked at. It'll be deleted at that point. This application is completely and totally online. So everything, there will be some times where you'll do something in a Word document and then upload that to the website, but it's all submitted through the website. You have to include every attachment that it asks you to include, a copy of your transcript, and your FAFSA student aid report. On the foundation website, this is what you're going to do. On the foundation website, you're going to click scholarships. Once you go to scholarships, you can read the rules, and then you can click on the scholarship portal. The portal is where you'll go. You'll create yourself a profile under the portal, and then choose what kind of application you're applying for, the 4-year, the 2-year, or the Courageous Heart Scholarship. Once in that application, you're going to want to click the Collaborate blue button on the top right-hand side, and then put my email address, mjmiranda@ag.tamu.edu, or Charlotte's email address, c-botting@tamu.edu. That allows us, and click that you'll allow us to edit it. That allows us to see it and to help you work on it. Otherwise, we're not able to see it, and we have to be able to certify who all is applying. So please add us as collaborators to that. But like I said, we have a lot of experience, combined 40 years of experience doing all of these scholarship applications. So please let us help you. Once you get into the form, there's a bunch of different sections. Section 1A is on your personal information. You'll be able to fill all that out. Section 1B is your demographics. What is your race or ethnicity? Where do you live? Section 1C is your county and district info. What county are you in? What district are you in? For those of y'all that don't remember, we are District 10, Guadalupe County. Section 2 is your college and university information. This is where you're going to put where you're applying, what program you're applying for, and if you got accepted or not. Section 3 is your livestock show participation. It'll just ask how many years you've participated in the stock shows and a few questions like that. Section 4, this is a section that you will have to send a link to your school counselor. It will send them an email and they have to fill out this section. That's why I say it's best to ask early. You don't have to have your application completed in order to ask for this. So be sure that you get that filled out and be sure that it's correct. Section 5 is your ranking and GPA info. Section 6 is your financial information. And that is going to consist of your student aid report, as well as your, student aid report and then financial narrative. Section 7 has a bunch of different things in it. You can see here on the right. It includes your project experiences, your community service, your leadership, your awards that you've won, your personal narrative, and your career narrative. And then Section 8 is where we have to go in, or y'all will fill that out, and then we have to go in and approve everything. So just a little bit more on some of these sections. Section 6 is your financial information. Like I said, you'll need your FAFSA student aid report and your financial need narrative. The student aid report provides an expected family contribution as to what can be planned on to be paid from your parents. Sometimes it is way higher than may be possible. I know my parents did not have any money to send me to school, and it still said they could have paid $1,400, when at the time there's no way that would have happened. So, we just didn't have the money for it. So you need to have that number on there. And the FAFSA can take 3 to 4 weeks. It's not always immediate, so do it now. You will need your tax return from your last set of taxes to be able to apply for that, or from your parents' taxes. Do it now. We don't know what the future holds. We don't know if there will be a state or a federal shutdown due to COVID-19. So I would suggest getting the student aid report done by the end of November. If you're home for Thanksgiving, that's a good time to start working on this. You're going to have to submit that student aid report on the scholarship application, and it is you'll be able to see it. But the correct website, there's a lot of different websites to find the FAFSA. That'll take you all kinds of places. FAFSA.ed.gov is the correct website that you need. And you'll create yourself a profile on there. The other half of the financial section is the financial narrative. This is where you will let the judges know why you need the financial aid. But one important thing is never start to reserve this money because I was super important in 4-H or whatever it might have been. You don't want to do that. You don't want to start with that. This is where the good thing about this application is this is where you're going to get a chance to brag on yourself. The bad part is we've always told you don't brag on yourself. So it's going to be difficult to write these, but it's important to know how to ask for something without saying I deserve it. And we already talked about the cap. Section 7 is full. There's several parts of Section 7. The first part is your 4-H projects, and you're going to list your top 4 projects throughout your 4-H career. So your top 4 projects during the 10 years possibly that you were in 4-H. Describe the years that were involved. What were the knowledge and skills that you gained? What were the activities that you did? Demonstrations, talks, workshops, tours, interviews, etc. The application is over your entire career, not just your high school career, not just your senior year. It's everything that you've done in 4-H. So while we may not have done a whole lot 4-H wise since March of 2020, you had lots of years of experience before that as well. So all that's going to get to go in there. Describe why these projects were important to you. So you're going to talk about the relevance and the impact that it had on your life and what each of those experiences helped with. I do have an example for that, and if you email me, I'll send you that example ASAP. Another part of Section 7 is your leadership experiences. This is up to 25 major leadership roles that you've had in 4-H during your whole career. Volunteer, promotion, elected, appointed leadership is all good. What were your roles and responsibilities, your years, your level of involvement, duties, and accomplishments? I also have a template for this section based off the record book, and we'll be posting that online as well. You need to talk about why it's important. What was the impact that your involvement had on other people? It's also important to emphasize for all of this the quality of your experience, not just the quantity. You don't want to fill up your leadership section by saying attended club meeting, attended club meeting, attended club meeting. Add some of those higher level things to get more points, basically. Your citizenship and community service, you have up to 15 that you can enter for this section. You need to do your roles and responsibilities, years of involvement, how many people you helped, all those kinds of things. Again, quality project over number of projects, quality over quantity. The other thing that you have to do is pick the top 4 4-H awards that you have, and you're going to talk about those. The most important part of that is to talk about the importance of that award to you. How did it provide to your development as a 4-H'er and as a person? But it's going to be tough to pick just 4. Outside 4-H experience is another thing. So this is where you put all of your work experience, any volunteering in the community you do, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, sports, church, anything else, FFA, all goes in outside 4-H experience. List those leadership roles too. If you're an officer in FFA, put that down. That's important. In Section 7, also, you have a personal narrative. And this personal narrative is basically highlighting important facts and information you think the judging committee should know about you. How has 4-H helped you, changed you? What have you learned from it? All those kinds of good things. Include any personal obstacles that you've had to overcome during your 4-H career. Maybe one year all your animals died. Maybe one year your stock shows were canceled due to a worldwide pandemic. There's a lot of different ways you can go about this section. The space should be used wisely, and don't repeat information you've already addressed in the application. So if there's some really important things that you would like to emphasize, this is where you're going to write about it. But you can only use the space provided on the page. You can't use extra pages or the reverse of the page. Another part of Section 7 is your career narrative. This is going to be where you talk about how you prepared yourself to work towards the career that you want, and what have you learned about that. Other types of information that you should have are visits to colleges or universities, conversations with people at those institutions. Investigate job opportunities and availability, persons and experiences that have influenced you to pursue that degree. So if you want to be an ag teacher and your ag teacher was a big influence on you, go ahead and talk about that. If you want to be a county agent, if you want to be a vet, if you want to be a pilot, whatever it is, talk about those things and how you came to that decision. A couple of reminders for the online forms. when you go to the online application, there's going to be two things. There's going to be a box that you can type in that says like maximum 4,000 characters. That includes spaces, periods, punctuation. There's also going to be an upload file button. And that's what you should do with all of these, your community service, your project work, your outside 4-H, is put it together in some kind of table like we do for record books, and then upload that file. It has to be a minimum 8-point font this year. They suggest a 10-point font, but 8-point font is okay. This is where it becomes super important for Let Us to help you. Put as much in the application as you think you can. Okay, as much as you can. We will whittle it down. It may take time. Very often, I'm sitting here with kids at the office till 8 and 9 o'clock, trying to get their application, trying to make suggestions on how to reduce the amount of stuff in their application. That's okay. That's what we're here for. That's what I get paid for. We want you to be able to have the best opportunity for getting the scholarship. So let us help you when it comes to filling out your forms. A reminder, this is a competitive academic scholarship. You are competing against 4-Hers from all over the state of Texas. A lot of them have had 4-H careers as good as yours. But the applicants, the judges change from year to year. And just because a certain way something worked last year does not necessarily mean it's going to work the same way this year. Like I said, the judges are different every year. 4-H also does not set the criteria for these scholarships. The donors do. So San Antonio Stock Show, Houston Stock Show, the families that offer some of their scholarships. Those are, the criteria is donor set. Also, make sure that your grades are good and your college entrance exams are done early. Like I said, you have to be able to get into school in order to get one of these scholarships. If you have questions, you can always call me. That is my number here at the office. Or you can send me an email, mjmiranda@ag.tamu.edu. Or you can call Charla here at the office too. She's more than willing to help you out. What the next few slides I think are going to be talking about some local scholarships that you can apply for. And then we'll go look at the website and things like that. The first one is the 4-H Booster Club Scholarship. And one thing you'll notice this year is that the Booster Club Scholarship, the Bartoskowitz Scholarship, and the Miranda Scholarship all have the same form now. That form is on our county website. So you'll need to make sure to fill out the one application, but check all the application or all the scholarships you are applying for. If you only check that you're applying for Booster Club, but did not check for that you're applying for Bartoskowitz, then you will not be considered for the Bartoskowitz Scholarship. So make sure that box is checked. For the Booster Club Scholarship, it's 4 $300 at least scholarships. I know they wanted to raise that amount this year, but they have not been able to have a fundraiser either. So keep that in mind. And it's based on your 4-H participation, activities, leadership, character, etc. This will be due in June 2021. It's usually due the same day as our 4-H record books are. The same thing goes with the Bartoskowitz Scholarship. It is a $1,000 scholarship, and on even years like this year, we also offer the Nelson Borman Scholarship because it's another donation that we get for $500. So you won't have to worry about that one in 2021. But if you're a junior and you're applying in 2022, just know when you apply for the Bartoskowitz, you're also applying for the second place award, which is the Borman Scholarship. Selection is based on participation in 4-H, etc. And the June deadline stands for this one and the Miranda one as well. The Miranda Scholarship, it'll be 1 to 2 $500 scholarships. And it is based on a minimum 500-word essay about how you feel 4-H has changed you and helped you. That application is not judged with the rest of them. It is judged by my parents. and they will pick the winners of that scholarship since they're the donors for that. So the scholarship deadline for that one is also June of 2021. McQueenie Lions Club has several $1,500 scholarships. Their application is usually due in April, so you need to contact the McQueenie Lions Club website. And this goes with all Lions Club, Kiwanis Club, any of those kind of organizations, the Elks Club, they all have scholarships. So be sure to ask them questions. The ABT Foundation will also be having scholarships this year. I think so, at least. I'm not sure for sure with the COVID situation, but they have given them in the past, and I assume they're going to be doing it again if they possibly can. And you have to basically, there's an application. You'll contact us to get it. We'll post it on Facebook when it's available, and it's typically due in March of 2021. The County EE Scholarship. There is one $500 scholarship that is due to us. The application is actually going to be due to us February the 15th, 2021. That application has to come through us first. If it wins the county level, it moves on to district. If it's first place at district, you win $1,000. If it's second place at district, I believe you win $500. But that will be coming up about the same time that this one is, that the 4-H Foundation Scholarship is due. And it's a different application, so be sure to look on the website for that application. Luling Foundation offers a $1,000 scholarship. There is an interview with this scholarship, and the interviews may be online this year. We don't know, but they were this last year, and it worked just fine. This is one of those that I'm telling you, if you're going to apply for a Luling Foundation scholarship, learn what the Luling Foundation does. Read about it. It's a good history lesson. They do a lot of good things over there, so read about it. For any organization, that is why you need to do some research on where you're applying for these scholarships from. That deadline will be, as it is always, March 31st, 2021. There's also a healthcare scholarship through the Luling Foundation. I don't think we've ever had anybody win that one, but if you're going into the healthcare field, in a vocational school, if you're going to try to be a nurse, this is the one to apply for. It's also due March 31st, 2021. The youth show has a scholarship. Its applications will be due, they're usually due April 1st, so April 1st, 2021. There's 400 or $500 scholarships. I think they might have gone up. I think they might be increased in number and amount. So just keep that in mind. I also don't know if they're going to require an SAT or ACT score this year, but as soon as we get that application, we'll send it out to everybody as well. Fair Association also has a scholarship, or several scholarships. There's an application that you'll have to fill out that we'll get by email later this year. I don't know how they're doing it necessarily because there was no county fair in 2020, but I would assume that they're going to be doing scholarships again this year. And they're typically due in mid-March. GVEC has several $1,000 scholarships. Each school district or each high school in their area basically will have one kid that gets the scholarship. You can also be homeschooled and get the scholarship, so apply for it. The only thing is your parents need to get your power from GVEC. So if you live in Seguin within the city limits and you get Seguin utilities, you're not eligible to apply for the GVEC scholarship. And it'll be due March 1st, 2021. The application opens December 3rd or 4th, I believe. There's the County Farm Bureau Scholarship, the George Washington SA Scholarship. So it's a $500 scholarship. If you win it, I think they then put you in the running for a higher level scholarship. But this scholarship is an essay on how George Washington affected agriculture. So do your research on George Washington and his contributions to agriculture. It's usually due in April. There are also other State Farm Bureau scholarships that are available as well. So go to the Farm Bureau website or call the Farm Bureau office here in Guadalupe County and start asking questions. There is a state fair scholarship outside of the 4-H ones. There are $1,000 scholarships. You need to have participated in the state fair, I think, this past year. So that just ended 2020. The deadline's typically March 1st. Go to the bigtex.com website and look up information on the scholarship program. There's San Angelo Stock Show, which also has their own scholarships. You'll have to go to their website to apply for those. Those are different than the 4-H scholarships. All of the stock shows seem to have their own scholarships as well. With Houston, there is the exhibitor scholarship and the Hildebrand scholarship. You are eligible to apply for both of these, or for the exhibitor one if you have exhibited at the Houston Stock Show. You're only eligible to apply for the Hildebrand one if you've showed sheep at the Houston Stock Show. But these are $20,000 scholarships, and if you get one of these, you will not get one of the state 4-H ones, but you'll still be in the running for one of the other scholarships. You need to have shown sheep at the 2020 show to be able to apply. The application is going to be due, I believe it's February 22nd. I have that date in another thing I'll show you all here in a few minutes. Houston also has an ag mechanics scholarship, $4,000 a year up to 2 years, so that's a total of $8,000. That scholarship is also due at the same time as the other ones. That you go to the Houston Stock Show Houston Stock Show website, or just look up Houston Stock Show scholarships, and the website will come up for you to start looking at that. If you are going to Texas A&M, the Mothers Club here in Guadalupe County offers scholarships. Our Aggie Muster that I've been chair of for several years raises money through our muster, and then we donate that money to the Mothers Club. The Mothers Club do their own fundraisers and raise money to send kids up to College Station. So if you're going to be part of the Fighting Texas Aggie class of, I don't know what year we're on, 2025 next year, be sure to check with them and apply with them. And that's with any college you're going to. If you're going to Texas State, if you're going to Sam Houston, if you're going to UT, if you're going to Baylor, there are mothers and fathers clubs and different things like that with all those schools. Be sure to check with them to see if there are scholarships. Buck Fever typically offers a scholarship as well. It's awarded in the summertime. There's also a Buck Fever banquet that you have to go to accept your scholarship. The deadline is typically in April. Keep your eye out on the Buck Fever website for information on that. Another one is the GBRA scholarships. These are one-time scholarships. You have to have a minimum of 12 hours per semester, and it is a $2,000 per year scholarship. Go to gbra.org and then search on there for their scholarships, and the app will come up. I don't believe it is open yet either, but it's typically due in March, so March of 2021. That concludes this part of the training. Let me stop presenting that screen. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to share my entire screen. Okay, so you can see my screen here. We're going to go to the websites. First thing we're going to do is When you type in guadalupe.agrilife.org, this is the website that you see. And you're going to go over here to where it says 4-H and click on 4-H. And then click right here where it says scholarships. On this page, this is a lot of links to some of the scholarships we just talked about, as well as the big 4-H scholarships. First thing on here is the scholarship deadline list. When you open that, you get a list of all the scholarships, and as close as we can figure to the dates that they are due currently. There's also links to all of those on here. It's just 2 pages. There are many more scholarships than this, so be looking out for them. Another thing that you can click on is the Texas 4-H Foundation Scholarship. We'll come back to that one here in just a second. The new scholarship application for the Bartoskowitz, Booster Club, and Miranda Scholarship. When you click on that link, you'll see there's 4 of those offered. There's one $1,000 Bartoskowitz one offered, the Borman one on even years, and then 1 or 2 $500 Miranda Memorial ones. It'll tell you some of the things that you have to apply for these. No matter what scholarship you are applying for, you have to fill this page out, and you need to click. I'm going to apply for Bartoskowitz. I'm going to apply for Booster Club. I'm going to apply for Miranda. Be sure to put an X, check mark, signature, whatever you want next to that. That way we know you're going to be in the running for those scholarships. Keep in mind, the next page of this has all the questions that you're going to be answering and filling out. But for the Miranda Scholarship, it's just a essay. Page 1, this page right here, and then an essay. On here, you'll see a lot of applications and different things on here. We'll also post the link to the YouTube video of this presentation on this page. But what I wanted to do is to show you a little bit of the state 4-H scholarship pages as well. So when you type in texas4hfoundation.org, it takes you to this website. You're going to click on the scholarship button. And then under scholarships, it has the Foundation Scholarship Portal, your guidelines, and your scholarship portal FAQs. So if you have questions, a lot of them are answered in there. But it reminds you, apply now for your FAFSA. Now's the time to do that. You have to have that to apply for the scholarships. When you click on the 4-H Foundation Scholarship Portal, it'll come with the login page. If you're new, you're going to follow these instructions right here to create a new account. I've already done one, so I'm going to log in. When it comes up, it's going to come up with my applicant dashboard. It's going to have any applications that I've applied for. Let's see, where's my current one? Okay, you can see that these are my old applications that I was playing with last year. Let's say I'm going to apply for this year. I'm going to come up here and click the apply button. First thing that comes up is a screen that has all the scholarships that they offer. So the 4-year scholarships, the technical scholarships, and the Courageous Heart scholarships. Whichever one you're applying for, you're going to click this blue apply button on the top right-hand corner. I'm going to apply for the 4-year scholarship. The other thing is, if you are, if you are uploading a file, you will need to name it like it is right here. FAFSA, 4-H projects. You're going to use your, you'll see that it creates you a number for you to use. So I'll click on apply. Okay. So first question, that's your personal information. Your ID is the first thing you have to create. That is your first 2 initials followed by the last 4 digits of your social security number. So it has an example on here. You're going to put that on here. You're going to put your name, your phonetic spelling, so that's how it sounds if it was spelled all the way out. Put your birthday, and make sure you click on all of these. Make sure you fill out each of these sections, okay? Next, you get to 1B, and that's demographics. You just click the boxes and move on. Section C is your county district, so you're going to say you're in District 10, Guadalupe County. You're going to put your primary 4-H club name, so if you're from the Navarro Club, the Marion Club, Shooting Sports Club, this is where you're going to put that. How many years have you been enrolled in 4-H? If you don't know that, contact me. I'll look it up on 4-H Connect. You're going to put my name down, my number down, which is 830-303-3889, and then my email as well. I'll fill out that CEA verification form once everything else is complete. Next is section 2. That's where you're going to put in which colleges you've applied for, and if you've been accepted, and what your major is going to be as well. Livestock show participation asks if you've been to the Fort Worth Stock Show or if you're going to be a sales school tour guide this year. Of course, we didn't get to do it in 2021, but it looks like they're going to require, if you did it in 2020, you'll be able to apply, or you'll be put into the running for these scholarships. You'll only get a sales school tour scholarship if you don't get an interview for one of the other ones. This next section is section 4, and that is the individual scholastic record. You're going to put your transcript in here and when you're going to graduate. Section 5 is this is the one that you need to send an email using this right here, this interface right here. You type in your email address of your counselor and send them this email. Let's see. We're going to say we're going to do that, compose email. And then you're going to put a subject and you're going to write what your message is. Tell them your deadlines. Let them know. Set an earlier deadline for yourself. Do whatever you need to do to make sure that they get this filled out on time. And then you're going to send that email. Section 6 is your financial information. So you're going to upload the FAFSA student aid report right here. You're going to take the EFC score from your student aid report and type it out right here on the screen. This is also where you're going to put your financial narrative. So the best thing to do is to type out your narratives in a Word document, word processor of some kind on your home computer, and then copy and paste everything into this section. Just keep in mind, it is limited to 3,500 characters. And 3,500 characters include spaces and commas. In these sections, this is where you do your 4-H projects, your leadership, your community service. Okay, you can type it in here if you would like, but it does also allow for you to create your own formatting, your own tables, and put them and upload them as a file. That's what we suggest strongly that you should do, because it allows the information to be broken down a little bit easier for people to read. It is a minimum 8-point font. The recommendation is to use a 10-point font because it's easier for a judge to read. But you can go as low as an 8-point font. I do have examples of this section. If you would like to see them, please contact me and I will email it to you. We don't post the examples on our county website. The same thing goes with our leadership roles, our 4-H honors, and our community service and outside 4-H experience. Each of them has an upload file button. If whatever you create is bigger than 1 megabyte, let me know and I'll help you shrink it down. The next section is your personal narrative, and this is where you talk about any important facts and information that you think the committee should know. Do not use your name in the narrative. Don't say, my name is Matt Miranda, and I'm an 18-year-old 4-H'er from the Vero 4-H Club. That's not how you want to do this. You don't want to include your name in that narrative. You'll also have to type and put in here a career narrative. And as I said, with all 3 of the essays, type them out on at home first, and then upload them to the website, or copy and paste them to the website. At the very end, you'll click on this, you'll read this, you certify it, and then you'll click submit application. Please do not submit your application without letting Charlotte or I look at it first. We want y'all to have the strongest chance possible to get a scholarship. So let us look at it. Let us help you review it and edit it. We'll work on it together, and we will do our best to try to help you earn yourself a scholarship. You've done all the work. I know most of you guys that are seniors, y'all have been in 4-H a long time. You have done a lot for this organization, and we just want you to have the best chance possible to get one of these scholarships. Let's see here. Okay, so that, for the most part, is our presentation for tonight. If there's any questions, I will answer them in the chat box. But overall, if you have any questions at any point, if you need stuff, if you need help editing something, please contact me. Please contact Charla. We want to be able to help you. We want to be able to help you get the money that you've worked so hard all these years in 4-H to try to earn. And that way we can give back to y'all, since y'all have given back so much to our program here in Guadalupe County. So I'll go ahead and end the recording now, and then I'll get to any questions that you may have. Thank y'all, and have a good day.